So today we're going to talk about a project called Medlog, and it's all built around this one really powerful idea. What if you had a perfect memory for your health and for your family's health? Let's dig into how they're trying to pull that off.
You've totally been there, right? You're in a hospital room or talking to a doctor, and your mind just goes blank trying to remember some crucial detail. Was it last night or was it the night before? That exact feeling of uncertainty, well, that's pretty much where this whole story kicks off. And here's the thing, when we're stressed out, our brain just isn't a perfect little database, right? All those important details get scattered, some of it's in a text message, some was mentioned in a phone call, maybe you jotted a note down somewhere, it's all over the place. And that fragmentation, right when it matters most, that's the core problem Medlog is trying to fix.
Okay, so let's talk about just how big this problem really is, because it turns out this is a truly universal health problem.
I mean, just think about how you actually talk about health. We don't fill out spreadsheets, right? We talk. We say things like, oh yeah, I gave Dad his meds earlier, or she started feeling a little off after we got home from the hospital. And that's exactly why so many other health apps fail. They try to force you to type everything into these rigid little boxes, and that's just not how life works, especially when you're stressed.
So you'd think the solution would be for everyone from the get-go, but actually it started much smaller. The initial idea was all about caregivers.
Yeah, the project originally had a different name, CareLog. And the whole idea was to build this voice-first system specifically to help professional caregivers, the people whose job it is to track all this stuff. It was a really solid idea, but it was focused on just that one type of user. But then they had one of those aha moments that completely changed everything. This led to a huge pivot, shifting their focus to families.
And you can see that pivot right here. They went from this narrow framing, a medical logging system for caregivers, to something way bigger, a health memory for individuals and families. And listen, this wasn't just some marketing slogan change. It was a completely different way of looking at the entire problem.
What they realized was, hey, this isn't just a problem for professional caregivers. It's a problem for everybody. It's for parents trying to remember when their kid's fever spiked. It's for you trying to track your own supplements. It's for an entire family trying to coordinate care for an elderly parent. It's universal.
Okay, so with this new, broader vision, what did they actually build? Let's dive into what this voice-first health memory really is.
So they call Medlog a health memory. And notice that word, memory. It's not a doctor. It's not an advisor. It's designed to listen to how you normally talk and then, like magic, turn that messy, unstructured speech into organized, traceable records. It's also a reconciliation engine, which is a bit of a technical term, but it just means it takes all those scattered bits of information and pieces them together into one clear, reliable timeline. And how it works is just dead simple. That's the whole point. Step one, you just talk to it. You can say something like, hey, record that I take vitamin D every morning, or log that he got his IV meds at 10 p.m. at the hospital. Then the AI kicks in and structures all that for you, creating a clean, traceable record that you can always go back and check.
And they've packed it with some really smart features. Obviously, the whole voice-first logging thing is central. But you can also set up multiple profiles for everyone in the family. There's even a special hospital mode for when things get more serious. And, this part is huge, there are two critical safety features baked right in. Confidence scoring, so you know how sure the AI is about what it heard, and an offline-first design to keep your data private.
And for anyone who's curious about the tech under the hood, it's running on Google's Gemini 3 Flash for all the smart reasoning, and it uses the standard web speech API to handle the transcription. This combo makes it super powerful, but also really accessible, since it can run right in your browser.
All right, now we're getting to what I think is the absolute most brilliant part of this entire project. It's this idea that sometimes restraint is actually a feature.
I love this quote from the creators. We learned that in health-related applications, restraint is a feature. I mean, think about it. We live in a world where every company is trying to make their AI do more, predict things, give advice, you name it. The Medlog team took a step back and said, you know what? The safest, most trustworthy thing we can do is actually do less.
And this is exactly what that looks like in practice. The AI's job is to be a perfect scribe. That's it. It takes what you say and structures it. It tells you how clearly it heard you, and it creates an unchangeable audit trail. But look at what it doesn't do. It will never, ever give you medical advice. It won't try to validate a dosage for you. It absolutely does not make safety judgments. Its job is to be a memory, not a doctor.
And this isn't just a philosophy. They built it into the features. The confidence scoring is the perfect example. Let's say you mumble a medication name.
The AI isn't going to guess. No way. It'll log what it heard, but it'll flag it with a super low confidence score to tell you, hey, I'm not sure about this one. That, plus the fact that you can't change the audit trails, creates a system that's all about transparency and trust.
So let's wrap this up by talking about what really matters. How does this actually help people in the real world?
Well, the biggest thing is that it just reduces the mental weight on your shoulders, what experts call cognitive load. You don't have to try and juggle every single detail in your head anymore. You can just offload it. And that helps keep care consistent, especially when multiple family members are involved. And it builds this perfect, accurate health history you can rely on for any doctor's visit or, God forbid, an emergency.
At the end of the day, the real magic is just how simple it is. This is a tool that was designed for how humans actually operate. It adapts to us, to speaking, instead of forcing us to adapt to it by typing into forms. It really does meet us exactly where we are.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? We help families remember health details so they don't have to rely on memory during stressful moments. It's not trying to replace you or your doctor. It's just there to support you. It's like a safety net for your memory. Which really makes you wonder, in this age of AI that's constantly trying to do more and more, maybe the most useful, the most trustworthy AI is the one that's smart enough to know its own limits.